that familiar gnawing dread that creeps in the night before a big presentation. Or maybe it's those infamous Sunday scaries that don't even wait for Sunday anymore. They hit you Saturday evening.
Definitely know that feeling.
Yeah, or maybe it's just that endless stream of what ifs that steal your peace right now, even when everything around you is actually okay.
Right.
If you've felt this, and let's be honest, who hasn't? You know that feeling. Our minds are incredible, capable of amazing things. But why do they insist on fast forwarding to problems, sometimes inventing disasters that, never even happen, even when we're safe?
It's a really common, profoundly human thing you're describing. We often call it anticipatory anxiety.
Anticipatory anxiety.
Yeah, so think of it like your brain's slightly overenthusiastic attempt to protect you. Yeah. It starts predicting fear and worry about bad things that could happen, especially things that feel, outside your control.
Okay.
Now, it's really important to get that this isn't, a standalone disorder itself. It's more of a common symptom. And the experience can vary wildly. Could be just mild nerves before an event, or it could be a really debilitating dread that just stops you cold.
Yeah.
And yes, it often ties into other anxiety conditions like generalized anxiety disorder, social anxiety, panic disorder, even PTSD.
And debilitating is definitely the word sometimes. The symptoms feel so physical, don't they? So pervasive.
Absolutely.
You might have trouble concentrating, or that weird emotional numbness where nothing really hits you in the moment.
Detachment.
Yeah, losing interest in hobbies. Then there's the jumpiness, muscle tension you don't even realize you have.
Right, carrying it in your shoulders.
Exactly. Nausea, maybe not feeling hungry. And, of course, sleep problems, which just makes everything worse.
Feeds the cycle.
It really feels like this vicious loop. Your mind cooks up these worst-case scenarios, and focusing on them just brings frustration, hopelessness.
Yeah.
You feel awful, but there's no actual threat right there.
Precisely. And the wild thing is, the core psychology here, when we imagine danger, even hypothetical danger, our body reacts exactly the same physiologically as if the danger were 100% real.
Wow.
Your ancient fight-or-flight system. It honestly can't tell the difference between a tiger in the bushes and, the imagined chewing out your boss might give you next week.
So it's firing off anyway.
It's firing off anyway.
Yeah.
And this isn't what we'd call productive worry. That's the kind that makes you act like checking your tire pressure before a road trip.
Right. Helpful worry.
Helpful worry. This is more like compulsive rumination. It just makes us feel sick, makes us freeze up, and it almost never leads to a real solution. It's also different from what we call phasic fear.
Phasic fear.
Yeah, that's your short-term immediate jump when a loud noise happens. Predictable threat, quick reaction. Anticipatory anxiety is more long-lasting, tied to an unpredictable threat, and they actually activate different parts of the brain, keeping you sort of on edge for longer.
Okay, so if our brains are kind of wired this way, why do some of us get stuck in that future fear loop more than others? What makes someone more, susceptible?
That's a great question. Several factors play into it. One really big one, a major driver for many people, is something called intolerance of uncertainty, IU for short.
Intolerance of uncertainty. Makes sense.
And it's not just disliking uncertainty, like most of us do. It's this deep-seated feeling that uncertainty, unpredictability, doubt, they're just awful, unbearable almost.
So anything unknown feels like a massive threat.
Exactly. And because of that, people with high IU often see worrying as, useful.
Useful how?
They feel like it helps them prepare for the worst. It creates this illusion of certainty or control.
Okay. That clicks. It's like if I just worry hard enough, I can somehow stop the bad thing, or at least I won't be blindsided. It's almost like a weird coping mechanism.
It absolutely feels like one, but yeah, it's a trap. Because real certainty, it's just not possible in life, is it?
Right. No guarantee.
So this kind of worry only gives you a fake sense of control. And in the long run, it just leads to more distress, more negative consequences, not actual preparedness. It's a bit like thinking if you pace back and forth enough before an interview, you'll somehow magically know all the questions.
Yeah, it doesn't really work that way.
It doesn't work that way. Another big factor is past experiences. Our brains are learning machines, right? Designed to protect us. So if you've had genuinely tough or traumatic times before, your brain tries to anticipate similar problems down the road, even if the current situation is totally different.
So it's like the alarm system is just set too sensitive because of the past.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
The protective mechanism goes into overdrives, sometimes overcorrecting, and then, ironically, worrying can just become a learned habit.
A habit like biting your nails?
Kinda, yeah. It feels productive, doesn't it? Like you're doing something about the problem, even if you're just spinning your wheels mentally. It becomes the go-to response, the default setting when faced with the unknown.
Wow. Okay. Habit, past experiences, intolerance of uncertainty.
And this constant future worry, it doesn't just stay inside our heads.
Yeah.
It really ripples out into our relationships.
How so?
Well, think about it. If you're constantly projecting future problems onto present interactions, maybe you snap at loved ones because your fuse is just so short from all the background anxiety.
Yeah, I can see that.
Or maybe you withdraw socially because you're too caught up inside your own head.
Oh.
Or you're constantly seeking reassurance from others. Is this going to be okay? Are you mad at me?
Yeah.
Which, can be exhausting for them too.
Absolutely. It puts a strain on things.
Huge strain. It can really affect the quality of relationships. That fear of future problems, maybe arguments or even breakups, might actually stop you from truly connecting right now.
That's such a crucial point, how it pushes people away when connection is often what we need most.
Okay.
And speaking of how these states affect behavior, I heard recently about some neuroscience looking at how anxiety, and even its opposite, apathy, change how we deal with uncertainty and make choices.
Oh, yeah, that's a really fascinating area. It highlights how different these states really are. Recent studies show anxiety and apathy lead to very distinct patterns in processing uncertainty, which means we really need different approaches to help people.
Okay, tell me more.
So, anxious individuals tend to see their environment as highly volatile, like things are changing super fast, unpredictably.
Okay, high alert.
Exactly. So this makes them explore more options, especially after something negative happens. Think of someone obsessively checking job boards every single day after getting rejections. They feel the market is so unstable, they have to keep looking, keep scanning for something new.
So the anxiety fuels this constant, almost frantic searching, a kind of desperate vigilance.
Precisely that. Now contrast that with apathy. Apathetic individuals tend to view outcomes as more random or stochastic, as the scientists say.
Stochastic, meaning just pure chance.
Pretty much. Like
Okay.
it's all just luck or fate. They believe changing things or trying new approaches won't really make a difference anyway.
So they explore less.
Much less. The apathetic job seeker might just send out the same resume again and again.
Yeah.
They genuinely think, what's the point of changing it? It's all random anyway.
Wow, so completely different ways of reacting to uncertainty. One makes you hyperactive, the other makes you shut down exploration.
Fundamentally different. And that's why understanding the underlying state, anxiety versus apathy, is so key for figuring out how to help someone move forward constructively.
Okay, so understanding the why, the uncertainty, the past, the habits, how it affects decisions, that's a huge first step. But then, the how. How do we actually move from knowing this stuff to doing something about it? Because managing this kind of anxiety, it sounds like a skill, something you practice, not just whip a switch.
Absolutely. It is a skill. And like any skill, you get better with consistent, deliberate practice. We can pull some really powerful strategies from approaches like acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT, and also cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. Both are very evidence-based.
Okay, ACT and CBT, what's first?
A really powerful starting point is focusing on the power of attention. Think about it. The antidote to getting lost in worry is your ability to choose where you focus.
Okay, directing your attention.
Yes. And a key part of this is what ACT calls diffusion. Stepping back from your thoughts, seeing them just as words or images, not literal truths.
So not getting tangled up in them.
Exactly. Instead of thinking, I am a failure, you notice, I'm having the thought that I'm a failure. You can even get a bit playful, like when a worry pops up, just say, thanks, mind. A little acknowledgement without buying into it.
Huh, okay, thanks, mind. I like that. What are some practical ways to do that?
Mindful grounding is fantastic. The 5-4-3-2-1 technique is a classic for a reason.
Right, the senses one.
Yep. Name 5 things you see, 4 you can touch, 3 you hear, 2 you smell, 1 you taste. It pulls you right back into your immediate surroundings, into the present.
Instantly grounding.
Very much so. Other great ones are deep breathing exercises, just focusing on the physical sensation of breath, body scans, noticing sensations without judgment, or sitting meditation, or visualizing thoughts differently, like thoughts in motion. Imagine worries as leaves floating down a stream or clouds drifting by. Just watch them pass. Don't grab onto them.
So creating that bit of space between you and the thought instead of being consumed by it. Okay, once you have that space, what's next?
Great question. Next comes acknowledge, accept, and practice self-compassion. Trying to push away anxious thoughts or feelings, it often backfires, makes them stronger.
Like trying to hold a beach ball underwater.
Exactly. That metaphor, it just pops back up with more force. So instead, we gently acknowledge them. Okay, brain, I see you're anxious about that presentation. That's okay. Just naming it without judging it can take some of its power away.
Just noticing and naming.
And then crucially, self-compassion. Treat yourself like you would treat a good friend who's struggling. Offer kindness, support, not harsh criticism. Acknowledge the feeling is there, it's uncomfortable, but it's okay to feel it. This helps reduce that secondary stress, the worrying about worrying.
That makes sense. You stop beating yourself up for feeling anxious in the first place.
Precisely. And ACT has this great perspective. Sometimes accepting tough feelings, sadness, anxiety, grief, is actually necessary to pursue things you really value, like connection. Accepting the discomfort allows you to move towards friendship, joy, belonging. It's not about liking the anxiety, but being willing to experience it if it means living a life that matters to you.
Wow, that's a powerful reframe, making space for the feelings so you can still do what matters. But what about, pushing back on the thoughts themselves, challenging them?
Absolutely. That's where cognitive restructuring comes in, a core part of CBT. It's about identifying those unhelpful, often distorted, anxious thoughts and examining them like a detective.
Okay, put on the detective hat.
Exactly. Ask yourself, is this thought 100% true? Or is my anxious brain jumping to conclusions? What's the actual evidence for this thought? What's the evidence against it?
Looking for proof.
Looking for proof. What's the most likely outcome here versus the absolute worst-case catastrophe my mind painted? And even if the worst did happen, how could I cope? What resources do I actually have?
Right, assessing your ability to handle it.
Yes. And maybe the most powerful question, is this specific worry actually helping me right now, or is it just keeping me stuck and miserable? Questioning the thoughts like this helps you see them more clearly, more objectively, and it reduces their grip on you.
So not just observing the thoughts like clouds, but sometimes actively questioning their validity. How does that shift connect to our sense of control, where we focus our energy?
It leads right into understanding your locus of control and taking productive action. Focus your energy and your effort on what you can actually influence.
The controllable parts.
The controllable parts. And it's not just about passively wishing for good things. It's about actively imagining yourself handling challenges, using your skills, your resources, your support network. Visualize yourself navigating the difficulty, not just avoiding it.
Okay.
And sometimes just getting the worries out of your head is huge. Write them down. Say them out loud. Make them concrete. When they're just swirling inside, they feel huge and endless. On paper, you can look at them one by one. They become more manageable.
Makes them less abstract, less overwhelming.
Exactly. Think about, say, a college student, a freshman, terrified of failing. The anticipatory anxiety is screaming, you'll bomb every exam.
Yeah, total spiral.
Instead of just trying not to think that, they could shift focus. Imagine the challenge, okay, Spanish 101 is really hard. I feel lost. But wait, I can ask for help. I can go to office hours, maybe join a study group, learn new ways to study. Visualize using flashcards, maybe cutting back on social stuff temporarily to focus. Imagine passing the class, maybe not with an A+, but feeling proud of the effort, how they handled it.
So it's visualizing the coping, the action, not just the feared outcome.
Precisely. It's about recognizing your agency, your ability to respond. Or remember the veteran example from the outline. Valued fitness, valued connection, but had intense anxiety in crowds from past trauma.
Right, the gym example.
Yeah. Despite the fear, he chose to go to the gym because fitness was important to him. And then he interacts with someone whose background triggered those old associations. But instead of shutting down, he stays present, engages, and ends up forming a friendship. That reinforced his deeper values, tolerance, connection, and proved he could act on those values with the anxiety there.
Not waiting for the anxiety to disappear before living.
That's the key, living with it in service of your values.
These examples are really powerful. So besides these mindset shifts and actions, are there more structured ways to manage worry day to day?
Definitely. A very practical technique is scheduling worry time.
Worry time, like putting it on the calendar.
Literally. Dedicate a specific short period, maybe 15 minutes a day, just for worrying. If a worry pops up outside that time, acknowledge it, maybe jot it down, and tell yourself, okay, I'll deal with you during worry time.
Interesting. So you contain it.
You can paint it. It teaches your brain that you will address the worry, just not right now, hijacking your whole day.
Yeah.
And always, always focus on the controllable. Break big, overwhelming things into tiny, doable steps. Ask, is there one small thing I can do about this worry right now? If yes, do it. If no, gently redirect your focus to something you can influence.
Little steps, making it manageable. Okay, so we've talked about attention, acceptance, challenging thoughts, taking action, structuring worry. What about the foundations, like basic well-being and resilience? Feels like that underlies everything.
Oh, it's absolutely the bedrock. You have to support your overall well-being. Prioritize physical needs. Sleep is huge. Sleep deprivation massively amplifies anxiety.
Tell me about it.
Right. Good nutrition matters. Regular exercise is non-negotiable. It burns off stress hormones like cortisol, boosts endorphins. It changes your brain chemistry.
The physical baseline.
Totally. And then social connection. Don't underestimate talking to people you trust, friends, family, a therapist. Just voicing the fears can make them feel less huge, less isolating. You share the load.
Connection buffers stress.
Absolutely. And finally, actively building resilience. Resilience isn't fixed. It's a skill you learn, often through navigating challenges.
So how do we build it?
Strategies include making those genuine connections we just talked about, accepting that change is inevitable, it's part of life, setting realistic goals, small wins, build confidence, taking decisive actions, even tiny ones, looking for opportunities for self-discovery, even in tough times, nurturing a positive but realistic self-view, maintaining a hopeful outlook,
Yeah.
and just general self-care, doing things that replenish you.
It's like building up your internal resources.
Exactly. Remember the other veteran example, the one with panic attacks who valued spirituality, music, family?
Yeah. Afraid of having symptoms in public.
Right. He started with mindfulness and these things called interoceptive exercises, basically, deliberately practicing feeling those physical sensations of panic, like a racing heart or breathlessness, but without fighting them, learning to tolerate them,
Okay, leaning into the discomfort.
leaning in gently. Then he applied those skills, started going to church, sitting near the front, traveled with his gospel group, performed. He didn't eliminate the anxiety overnight, but he significantly reduced the panic. And, more importantly, he started living according to his values again. That is resilience in action, moving towards what matters, even when it's hard.
So what this deep dive really shows is that managing this anticipatory anxiety, it's not about finding an off switch, is it?
Not at all.
It's more like a continuous journey. Practicing noticing those thought patterns, questioning if they're really true, and gently, actively pulling your attention back to the present moment, messy as it might be.
That sums it up beautifully. Uncertainty is just part of life. We can't magic it away no matter how much we worry. But we can choose how we relate to it.
Choose our response.
Choose our response. The real goal isn't zero anxiety. That's not realistic or even desirable, maybe. The goal is to increase what we call psychological flexibility.
Psychological flexibility.
Yeah, the ability to encounter difficult thoughts and feelings openly without getting totally derailed by them, while still persisting with or maybe changing your behavior to align with what you truly value. It's about living a rich, meaningful life with whatever shows up inside you.
Living fully, even with the uncertainty. So for you listening, maybe the question is, what small values-aligned action can you take today? Even if anxiety or uncertainty is right there beside you, what tiny step moves you towards living more fully, right here, right now? Maybe it's just taking one mindful breath.
That could be it. And please remember, if worry feels like it's constantly there, if it feels overwhelming, if it's really getting in the way of your daily life, your relationships, your work, reaching out for professional support, talking to a therapist or another mental health professional, that is a really courageous and incredibly effective step towards finding more peace.